Hi Manchester Pride, my name is David Kam and I'm a Lululemon ambassador from Regent Street, London. And this is a short restorative yoga flow that I'm sharing today, and it's absolutely for anyone who might be a first timer in yoga to the seasoned veteran, anyone who's looking into a feel good flow on a nice day. Enjoy! Come into a comfortable seat, taking your time to get there with absolutely no rush. And make sure that you're in a safe space and a place where you feel free to express yourself in any way that you wish. And as you come into somewhere that feels nice, take a moment to simply notice what you need right now. And some of us may have an inclination to move a little bit before settling into stillness. So honor that, and then we come still. Those of us who are ready to join me in stillness, let's find our left hand on the heart and the right hand onto the belly. Slight tuck of the chin with a softened gaze or eyes closed. Take a full breath in here and a breath out. And do this a few more times. Perhaps the exhales slightly longer than the inhales to cultivate a slower pace of breath. Find a soft gulp down the throat to get into our sense of taste. And start noticing the way our palms are landing on our torso. Listening to this rhythm within our body in this alignment of head, heart, gut, and ground. And this pulse that we feel on our palms, can we recreate that in awareness from the back of our body, from the sides of our body, so that we're breathing in a three-dimensional way. In this vertical alignment, let's remind ourselves why we showed up to this mat. Not necessarily to my specific practice, but why did we show up? To move our bodies and to calm our minds. If you arrived into this space without any specific intention, I invite you to practice this idea of peace. We practice peace starting from the mat, starting from within. So without further ado, from here, bring our palms together into the shape of a bud, so the knuckles are slightly apart, right in front of the heart space. And imagine as if this is this bud about to bloom into a little flower. We keep that stance as we guide the hands up towards our head, towards the sky, and we allow it to open out to the sides of us. And we repeat, so guiding through this vertical line that we have established in our spine, outwards. And just like synchronizing our devices to the Wi-Fi connection, try and synchronize our body with our breath. So as the movement of your arms become bigger, can that reflect the scale of our breath? And this may not necessarily mean louder, but perhaps a breath that's more spacious. And to continue playing with this, think as if this becomes this movement of peeling off a layer of sweater. And I invite us to think about how we can peel away layers of our identities, responsibilities. So these layers that tell us that we are workers or parents or children or advocates, all of that. We peel them all away so that we come into the very core of us, which is that we're simply human. Let this next one be the last one. And in this final unpeeling, reach your arms out into a place of expansion and let the heart lift up, gaze upwards. We stay here, fingers really extended away from either side of the collarbones, and we're thinking, I'm declaring my arrival. I want to show everyone else in the world that I am here and I deserve my space. So as we stay here, take a full breath in and stick your tongues out. We do this twice more. Full breath in and to the skies. One final time. Full breath in and lovely. Now from here, reach your palms to face outwards, round your spine, tucking your chin, and we open back out. Starting to move the spine a little bit more. And once you start playing with this, feel free to move in any way you wish. So maybe bring the arms further down to reaching it upwards, but we're rippling through the spine. I sometimes like thinking about hula hooping from the spine as well, just to give myself a little bit more movement from the rib cage. So feel free to take inspiration from where my body is going, but by all means, if there's something that feels nice in your body, honor that. We honor the pleasure that we find in our own bodies and minds. Do this for a few more breaths. And then after the next breath, reach your arms back out to the side and then interlace the fingers from just above your head. Place them just behind your neck. So it's a bit of a cradle. And when you arrive there, allow yourself to find a vertical stroke upwards just to underline this vertical axis again. And once you get a little bit taller, really let your head rest against this back that you've created. Stare ahead towards the screen that you are gazing at, and I invite you to notice if you can see the tips of your elbows by the corner of your eyes. Let this be an invitation that we are not restricted within a tunnel vision, and that we can establish a kaleidoscopic vision, seeing wider and celebrating the diversity that is out there without blind spots. Stay for one more breath. Rib cage is calm, and then begin to tuck your chin, elbows together, roll through into an all fours position. So coming onto your hands and knees. Take a time to come along the line of your mat and make sure that your shoulders are above your wrists and hips above knees. But once you get there, just notice if the crown of your head can maintain that sense of alignment away from the tailbone. It's a long, spacious area. And from here, lift the right palm an inch off the mat. Play the piano lightly with your fingers and start staying still, noticing what you might be sensing through the gap between your palm and the mat. And then we're going to wake this hand up, so give it a quick shake, sideways and front and back, as quickly as you can. And after once more like that, sideways and front and back, bring the palm back an inch off the mat and hold. Notice the difference in sensation. The space still between our palms and the mat. Now take a moment to guide the palms back down, perhaps with greater sensitivity. And as you bring weight there, start sliding the right palm backwards into child's pose. Extend the fingers so far back until you continue into a circular pathway back into all fours. We repeat this a few times. Gaze following where the fingers are going. Opening up the shoulders. Now I really like this in my hips too, so if you enjoy this in your hips, indulge in coming to that child's pose. Take a bit more time. Wherever you choose to be, notice the textural journey that you're going through. So perhaps feeling the surfaces of your mat, your carpet, the floor, maybe even your skin, your clothing, all of that. They're rich information for our body to take in. Let this next one be the last one. And once you arrive in this place where the arms are vertically stacked, stay there, fingers high, directly above the bottom wrist. Circle the wrist a few times, heart still remaining lifted. Staying there, finding a little bit more stretch in the wrist. And then when you're ready, thread the arms through, leaning the right cheek onto the floor. Stay there, pressing the left palm a little bit more. Nice open chest. We take a full breath in here and a soft sigh. Just once more like that, full breath in and sigh. Now press against your left palm, come back up onto all fours. Okay, we're back in this position. So take a moment, move the shoulders and the hips, notice how you're feeling. And then we go on to the opposite side, same thing, lifting the left palm an inch off the mat and notice what you might feel. And this can feel quite blank, as in, I don't feel anything much, and that's okay. This is why we're going to shake it a little bit, just to remember how alive our sensations can be, front and back. Twice more this way, sideways, and front and back. And final time. And then we notice the difference, palms away from the mat, this tingly feeling. Indulge in that before we place the palm back down. Okay, slide the left palm backwards into a child's pose, and we continue the circular path up and over, up and over. And in addition to what I shared about textural journeys, think about what you're seeing as well now. So looking past the fingers, I'm seeing colors, I'm seeing surfaces, I'm seeing shapes. What do you see? Maybe adding a little bit more movement in the wrist, bringing it more into the fingers. You decide. Where are you even moving from? Can we move from our elbows? Or maybe something more metaphorical, like I'm moving from a sense of courage, or I'm moving from the ground. Let this be the final one. And then we arrive back in this vertical stacking of our arms again. Stay there, draw the fingertips higher up towards the sky. Nice open chest, circle the wrist a few more times. And then let's begin to thread into a twist. So threading the left arm through, coming into threading needle position. So left cheek onto the mat, staying there, pressing the right palm down, really trying to lift the chest higher up. Let's do this once more, full breath in, and a soft sigh out. Okay, press the right palm, come back onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the knees off so that your knees are slightly hovering. Again, the shoulders are still above the wrist. Crown of the head still nice and long away from the tailbone. Have a look to the right and left, making sure that the neck is nice and easy. And then start to walk your feet all the way back until you arrive in a full plank position. If you need to, make sure that you're finding a nice diagonal line from the knees down, all the way away from the head. Yeah, so this is an option, or full plank. Wherever you choose to be, begin to shift your pelvis backwards by bending your knees, and we arrive in our first downward facing dog. We're simply repeating this. So from this place, lifting the heels up, bending the knees as you roll the spine forwards, full plank, and then again bending the knees to shift back. Now think about creating ripples of the spine. Again, there's no need for this movement to look exactly like what I'm doing, but the main thing is that we are creating flow in our body. So there's weight transferring from feet to palms, and I'm almost giving my spine a little bit of a massage. Let's do it once more. And once you're done, let's meet in our variation of a downward facing dog. Those of you who are practicing for the first time, you can stay in this variation with your knees very bent. Press your palms away from the hips. And in there, focus on letting the head be relaxed here. If we want to go a little bit deeper, start lengthening the legs just a little bit more as far as you're comfortable going. Stay here, take another full breath in. And a soft sigh out. Okay, begin to walk your hands towards your feet. Step by step, all the way until we come into a standing forward fold. And once you're in that forward fold, again, allow your head to sway side to side, somewhere where you feel quite nice and relaxed, grounded. Gentle nod yes and shake no with the head. Let's take a full breath in here. And flutter of the lips. Once more like that, halfway lift. And a flutter of the lips. Alright, bend your knees, roll the spine all the way up. We'll meet standing. Now as you come standing, what I recommend is that we stand along the length of our mat, just exactly how I am. But if you want to stay vertical, that's absolutely fine. So you do whatever you need. When you're there, come into a goddess position. So our feet are wide, knees bent in this place. And take a moment to shift your weight sideways, getting used to, okay, how are my feet balancing me, all of this. So once you feel a bit more confident, like, okay, yeah, I'm supporting myself from the ground, begin to tip your weight towards the left, towards the right, a little bit more, so much that maybe the heels can lift off too. Notice how that feels. The hips are activating, the quads are also waking up. And then I invite you to slowly come back into the center, and as sneakily as you can, we're all going to lean towards our right side. So as far as we can. From here, if possible, find a way to lift all the way up into a tree position. And those of us already in a tree position, stay still with the palms together, roll the shoulders up and back, and see if you can practice a sense of confidence in doing almost nothing but simply being still. If you wish to challenge yourself, perhaps you can draw your gaze a little bit further forwards and up, a sense of confidence coming from the chest. Stay there for one more breath, pressing from the ground. And in the next breath, pick up the left knee and turn towards a parallel position. Let the left heel guide you all the way back to set up into our first Warrior Two position. When you arrive in your first Warrior Two, make sure that the ankles are roughly underneath the wrists so that we are in quite a generous length in where our legs are going. Stay there, firm press of the arms downwards, and think about gazing past the front middle finger. In here we embody strength. Again, keeping this idea of head above heart, staying there as the inner arches of the feet are lifted. Stay for one more breath. And a soft sigh out here. Okay, flip the front palm up. Lean forwards, reverse your warrior. Enjoy the stretch coming from the front knee and the top arm. Turn the gaze down, complete the circle by continue this round pathway until the front forearm meets the front thigh. Opposite arm comes overhead into a nice diagonal lunge. Stay there, extending the left fingertips away from the outer edge of the back foot. And if you wish for a bit of movement, find a few circles in the arms. And then the next time you reach the arm away from you towards the extended leg, let the head fall towards your lower shoulder. Stay here to get a bit of a neck stretch, and if you want somewhere deeper, you can wrap the arm behind the waist. We stay for one more breath. For a bit more challenge, the bottom arm can come off the thigh too. And in your next breath, the elbow comes back in. Now those of us who have wrapped the arm behind, extend the arms back out again. Spin the left heel inwards and allow the left fingertips to guide us back up, continuing this neck stretch into a goddess pose. From this goddess pose, keep your hands on the knees and start lowering the shoulders down one by one. And really take time here without feeling any need to rush, because this is essentially us finding space in our hips. To those of us who feel very spacious in the hips, I invite you to lift the heel that you're looking away from, like this, just to get a little bit deeper into this hip area. Okay, as we come back into this goddess position, let's spin our heels outwards to come into a wide forward fold. We take a halfway lift here. Exhale, we release into heaviness, into weight. Take another breath in, same way. Exhale, we release back down. The next time we halfway lift, stay there, bring the right hand into the center, lift the left arm up. Gentle twist. Feel free to release the neck occasionally if you're feeling tight there. And start tipping your weight towards the toes so you feel like you're leaning towards the edge of a cliff and less so lying on a hammock. And we switch sides, so other arm down and then the next one up. Back into that cliff-like place. So we're almost daring ourselves towards a place of courage, then to hang back. Now back into the center. From here, spin the heels and roll the spine back up. Let's go on to the opposite direction. So back into this shifting position in the goddess pose. And to those of us who want a bit more challenge, you can start pushing from your feet just to get something a little bit more dynamic and noticing the control that we have in the legs as well. And gradually, as you come back towards the center, we're going to go to our left side this time. So very smoothly, without anyone noticing, we're shifting our weight to one side, getting into a tree pose. And you can be the funkiest tree in the world. That's all for you to express yourselves in your own authentic way. Stay there, rolling the shoulders up and back. And let's find peace from within. Nothing forced, but just noticing where else in our body can discover a little bit more stillness. Let's take a full breath in here. Ballooning head and anchoring ribs, feet. And with the next breath, pick up the right knee, turn towards your new parallel, lengthen the leg back to ease ourselves in the same stealthy way into Warrior 2. Now let's check again, ankles directly underneath the wrists. And again, this idea of strength coming out from either sides of our fingertips. Stay there, firm press of the arms down, gaze towards the front middle finger. We stay here in courage and strength. One more breath in. With deep, deep focus. Next inhale, flip the front palm up, lean forwards. Let's draw that full circle. So circle from up above, reverse warrior. Enjoy this stretch. And then we turn our gaze down, completing the lower half of the circle into a diagonal stretch. Now really establish this diagonal line, fingers reaching away from the back foot. And then again, in here, if you wish, a few movements of the top arm. And once you're ready, let the head completely fall heavy to the bottom shoulder and the extended arm towards the opposite direction. And you might feel a nice sense of stretch along the top side of the neck. So stay there. And again, option to wrap the arm from the top. Option to release the bottom arm off the thigh. Stay. One more breath. Quads are burning, but I'm doing this with you. And finally, in this place, those of you with the elbows extended, bring them back. Extend the top arm again, spinning the back heel inwards. Let the fingers guide you back up into this goddess position. And we're back here. So in this place now, in your goddess position, let your hands really sink into the knees, and the shoulders also quite nice and released in this place. Take another halfway lift and start lifting the heels up one by one. And when you're ready, both heels up. Now from lifting both heels up, see if you can grow the torso upwards as well. The elbows come into a cactus position. Take a full breath in to lengthen the legs and the arms. And as you exhale, we come back into this kind of a crab-like position. Twice more, full breath and lengthen everything. And I kind of call this the starfish and the crab. And one final time. And good. Okay, heels back down. And then spin the heels out. We meet in a wide forward fold again. Take a halfway lift. And as we release, hands relatively flat onto the mat, walk the feet and toes inwards all the way until we come into a parallel fold. Bend your knees to arrive in a squat. Now in this final squat, turn the feet slightly outwards if you wish and stay here. If possible, palms together, knees not touching the elbows. If this is not too possible, bring your fingers ahead. Your heels can be lifted off a little bit. Wherever we are, try to express again this idea of pride, and we're not hunching, we're not hiding. We're very happily exposing ourselves because we're proud. Stay there for one more breath. And from here, the head is still ballooning upwards. Start drawing the toes inwards. Bring your palms behind you now. Walk your feet a little bit further out so that we come into a seat. Place your hands down flat onto the mat and allow yourself to sink back into the shoulders. We drop our knees side to side. Easing the hips in all the work that we've done today. Now from this place, just one final thing to do. When we tip over towards the right side, stay there. Draw the top leg a little bit further away from you. And we keep twisting towards our right. And this could be very free. You could stay here, continuing to move. I can hear my spine click a few times already. You can stay lying down. You have absolute power in what you decide to navigate towards. And then let's go on to the other side. Same thing, drawing the knees closer in, and then we tip our weight over onto the other side and draw the top leg away again. And notice what is it that you can find in this position that feels good. Some of us who are a little bit more experienced within the vocabulary of yoga can find a little bit of a pigeon variation to your choice. Full breath in here and breath out. Okay, when you're ready to come back to a seat, let's meet us all in Baddha Konasana, so kind of a diamond-shaped position in our legs. And if this is feeling a little bit too strong, you can always bring the heels further away. I quite like doing this with my feet flexed personally. And from here, let's hold on to our ankles. As we hold on to our ankles, pull your legs towards you so that this encourages your spine to lengthen. And again, we're going towards this idea of pride. So I'm really proudly inhabiting this posture. I like to think about cartoons and the way when animations are happy, or if they fall in love, or when they're excited, their heart is popping out of their chest. Let that, the heart space, guide us forwards to this place of pride. So stay here. Nice and strong, and we simply embody stillness and silence. To stay in this place of pride, I invite you to extend your presence and your energy to everyone else who's joining us within this session across the different dimensions of times and space. Those of us who've joined us in the past, to those of us who are about to join us in the future. The beauty of connection online through virtual means, we honor that. Take one full breath together as a collective. And breath out. Now let's come back into a comfortable seat, the same stance that you've chosen from the very beginning. And from there, we do the reverse of how we've started. So instead of taking off our sweater, we are wearing these different layers of our mantles again. So us being human at our very core, our humanity, we now wear upon all these cloaks of identities. So with our arms out, I am beginning to wear this layer of me as a son. And I continue playing with just this idea of dressing myself as an uncle to two beautiful nieces, myself as an artist and the vision I have for the world, and myself as a brother to friends around that I've met across the world, as well as my immediate family, and all of these mantles that make me the hero that I am within my life when I live my best self. When I merge all of these intersections together, who am I? I amplify. So let this next one be the final one with absolute pride. And the next time you reach your arms upwards, let's find that bud again. But with this bud, draw the fingers out, open the middle three fingers. Let this be a symbol of us in full bloom. So all of these intersections together, draw your palms back down right in front of the heart. Turn your gaze into this little lotus and let the thumbs of this lotus listen to the pulse of our heartbeat again. Take time to come back to our internal rhythm. And just take time to admire the beauty of our hands representing this lotus in full bloom. One final breath in. And a soft release. And with that, draw your body into a close. Bring the palms together, straight still in front of the heart. I thank you for joining me in this session, and I hope that you've had a good time. Please take care and stay safe. Lots of love.